Hey guys, how's it going? So, sometimes, most of the time, I'm a big dumb idiot. The last recording that I just did is not one that anybody will ever hear because it is 15 minutes of absolutely nothing. I forgot to select my microphone in Audacity and let that thing go. So, needless to say, I got everything out that I didn't need to say, and now I have stuff that I actually have to say. Like the question I want to propose today: why was Windows XP so good? Windows was the popular OS that came out on top over everything in the early 2000s. And it was Windows XP, at least for a few reasons, was the first consumer oriented OS that combined the strengths of a business oriented Windows NT and the user friendly Windows 95. This meant it had the stability and security of the NT family and the familiarity and ease of use of the other kernel that was 95. So yeah, Windows XP was popular mainly because Windows 95 was popular. XP released at a time when personal computing, at least the use of them in your own home, was exploding, especially in markets like China and India. This meant that a lot of people were experiencing Windows for the first time, and the user-friendly interface and features of XP really made it a hit. Another huge factor that contributed to its success was the boom in desktop shipments from the early 2000s. So that meant that XP was installed on a huge number of computers, and its market share grew exponentially. Longevity also played a huge role in its success. It was supported for over a decade, which means not only did a lot of people use it, a lot of people were able to experience that for a long time. A decade is a long time for an operating system to be not only in use, but also supported. And because it was supported for so long, businesses and individuals with plenty of time to standardize got used to the features that Windows XP had. Microsoft has been very good about this. They are an evolutionary brand where they will constantly evolve on the one product that they have. And they do this for all of their brands. But specifically, if we look at Windows, Windows was built off of 1.0, then evolved into 2.0, 3.0. Then it became Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows 2000. There was a Millennium Edition. And then there was XP. After XP was Vista, and Vista was another evolution of that. People didn't like Vista, so there was an evolution of Vista that was Windows 7. Microsoft thought they knew what they were doing, came out with Windows 8, and people hated it. The next year, Windows 8.1 came out. People still hated it. People finally tolerated Windows 10, and Windows 11 was kind of poured out and given to everybody for free and said, it's an update. That's all it is. And speaking of evolving a brand, let's take a look at Xbox. Let me tell you a story. Xbox has come a long way since its inception, from a big clunky black box that would have doubled as a footrest to more sleek and modern design today. The Xbox has gone through quite the transformation, not only in terms of hardware, the way it looks, the controllers even, but the software especially. Back in 2001, when the first Xbox was released, it was a big box that was entering your living room, but it was also a big competitor entering the gaming world. It was the first console to have a built-in hard drive, which was a game changer, pun intended. Fast forward to 2005 and the Xbox 360 was born, bringing with it a whole new level of gaming with online capabilities and a more compact design. And that's where you start to see the pivot to online gaming as a service. With the introduction of the Xbox One, we had Xbox Live, but we also had an infinitely more powerful system, quote unquote. It wasn't really all that more powerful, but it was able to push out HD graphics at 60 FPS. They later refined it to have 4K playback, not actual gameplay. And now with the Xbox Series X and Series S, the console has evolved into a powerhouse of gaming. If you jailbreak a Xbox Series S, for example, it becomes the perfect emulation kit. But it's not just about the hardware. Xbox really took off and revolutionized the way that a lot of people play games with its subscription services. Xbox Game Pass is immensely popular, and it gives players access to a vast library of games for a simple monthly fee. $15 a month gets you 200 games. It's a really simple and easy deal to make. Microsoft saw what was working with their Office suite, a subscription service for programs. And I bet one engineer thought to himself, what is a game, but not a program? In all reality, it was probably Phil Spencer who brought this whole idea up and said, hey, let's just do the Office thing, but for games. We have a bunch of studios now. Let's do that. And I feel like that's exactly where the Xbox brand is. They are in the Office suite of Microsoft's lineage. At this point, Xbox can lose money, gain money, it doesn't matter. It is part of the history of Microsoft, and it is an iconic brand throughout all of gaming. Microsoft can and will focus on its strengths. It's now not only a game publisher, but also a game developer. And they're also a library holder, and they're also a hardware manufacturer. And I could go on and on and on. The thing that they could do is they could take all of the technology that they're building in Microsoft's augmented reality lab, bring some of that technology over to the Xbox department, and they'll start developing for VR. In fact, Microsoft just put out the Xbox Cloud app for the Quest 2 and the Quest 3. And what they did with that is they instantly injected themselves onto the largest market base for all of VR. You know that the Cloud app is gathering data on exactly what these machines are doing. You know they're going to use that data to not only further enhance their Cloud app, but they're also going to use it to develop full-fledged VR applications or XR, augmented reality applications. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll be playing Halo and shooting over our couch at our buddies who are across the world. This could also go in a totally different direction where Microsoft is investing money into developing new innovative controllers, or maybe they're using technology like HoloLens to create 120-inch displays that ship with the console, so it's a little bit more expensive, but they get more hardware out the door, just like they tried to do with the Kinect. Because the Kinect helped develop the HoloLens. Like, it wasn't something that was a happy little accident that, oh, the Kinect shipped with every Xbox One. The reason why they were trying to push so hard is because they were, one, trying to harvest data, and two, trying to harvest data, but for different reasons. For example, when playing a game that requires you to hover your hand over a specific position to select a button, knowing the positioning and tracking of each individual Kinect and being able to learn and glean data off of that information alone, huge. That helps with calibration, that helps with sensitivity, that helps with fidelity, that helps with everything. Just by getting one action from the user, you are giving so much feedback and data to a developer. So now you see why developers will put a 40-mile long privacy policy in front of you in hopes that you just hit yes for everything. So you just skip through, yes, I'll do diagnostic data, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Just keep hitting it, keep going until you can play the game. And despite those tendencies, I still think it's a good idea to send some diagnostic data. You don't necessarily have to be sending everything, because at the end of the day, I want the developers to be able to make a good product. I want them to be able to improve and grow and learn from the thing that they are making, instead of, I mean, in all reality, doing the thing that I'm doing right now, pushing out garbage every single day. Yes, I'm learning how to do things and learning little things that I'm not quite showing to the world in the program of my choosing, which I'm using DaVinci Resolve to edit, despite me not cutting up the audio or cutting through the video and doing this live, things like that. There's a specific vibe or an aesthetic that I want for these videos. I want them to be kind of shitty, but more importantly, I want them to just be a conversation that somebody can put in the background. The gameplay has always just been a distraction for the message. And that message is simple. You can do things, even if they're bad, just do them. I mean, look at Call of Duty, for example. There we go, I fucking got him. There it is, I got it, guys. Okay, fine. I want the developers to learn, and I want the games to be better. It's always seemed to me that Activision has become a training ground for most developers. Once they get good enough, once they develop a team, that team will then go break off from Activision and start their own studio. And good for them, because at the end of the day, the more there are of studios out there, the more there are of games out there. And the more games that are out there, the more games have the potential to be good. So yeah, this is the Swarm Sponge signing out. I'm again just hoping that we can get some good games. Peace.